A team with a 60,000 seat stadium relegated to the championship. A newly promoted team qualifies for Europe, and a new assist leader of all time in the Premier League for a season. What a season it's been. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Premier League champions Arsenal Football Club. With me tonight is Brad. He supports top half finishing, narrator's note, 10th place, finishing Chelsea. And down below is Sean. He supports, still in the Premier League, survived relegation, 17th placed Tottenham Hotspur. Brad, I think you and we've been ragging on Sean for the last 6 months, 7 months.
Yes.
I think it's time now for us to continue to rag on him because his team is trash and finished 17th.
That doesn't stop.
That meme I sent is all I care about. I'm at the bottom of the podium celebrating harder than you are at the top, baby.
Y'all both had great seasons. I'm just in the middle here.
Well,
I didn't end up doing it, but I told Brittany, I was like, if they pull this out, if they win today, I might pull out the Woodford Reserve and take a shot. Which, for those at home, I don't drink liquor, so and I was like, I might pull it out. She was like, the wedding whiskey? No, you're not.
And
I mean,
if Jimmy were here, I'll be in Jimmy's position here. You shouldn't shoot Woodford Reserve. You should just pour it in a glass and drink it.
I did not end up doing it anyway. So
yes, I do like Woodford. Woodford's a nice one to keep on the shelf. It's a very drinkable whiskey. Not sponsored by Woodford Reserve, but if you would like to sponsor the podcast, info.redcardradio@gmail.com. We would love to do a sponsorship for you.
But just a note for the married listeners, do not propose as an idea to your wife to that a sporting event is enough of a occasion to drink the buried whiskey from your wedding.
I don't know.
Not an acceptable occasion, apparently.
I've been telling my wife for about 2 weeks now that regardless of what her plans are for this upcoming Saturday, I will be at home at 11:45 in front of the TV with my eldest son at the very least. And it took her like maybe one time of me telling her what was going on for her to put together the Champions League final. But maybe we don't have any. We've been married for 12 years, so anything that we had from the wedding has been consumed or thrown away at this point. But I should pull something out. I don't know. All right, what are we doing here tonight? This is it's the bittersweet one because the Premier League is over. We have completed 38 matches. All teams have played 38 games. We have winners. We have losers. We have teams who have qualified for Europe, and then we have those teams that just kind of meander throughout the season. We'll kind of cover a good portion of that. We have a EFL Championship playoff winner that we need to bring up, and we need to talk about the final game of the European domestic club football calendar. That's the Champions League final from Saturday from Budapest. It's PSG versus Arsenal.
Already?
It's
why are we talking preseason?
It's not preseason game. Nah, brother. This is a pinnacle of sporting engagement. This is the top of the mountain. And we'll get into it.
It sounds just like it's like a European Cup, though. It's not like a World Cup or anything like that.
No,
sounds preseason.
The World Cup is a friendly preseason tournament because it's in July. But before we do any of that, before we get into those things, before we spend 5 minutes talking about nonsense, if you could hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you're on YouTube, if you're on one of the podcast sites. Thank you so much for listening. Follow, rate, review, 5-star, whatever your platform so allows. If you're on Spotify, you can drop a comment and we will see it there. If you're interested, you can join our Discord community. It's linked in the description of this podcast or the video, wherever you're choosing to consume this. And at the end, please do watch to the end. It helps us tremendously. Hit the share button. Send it to a buddy or an arch rival. It doesn't matter who you send it to. Just hit that share button for us and send it to somebody. It really does help us out tremendously. All right, boys. So I do the most interesting thing that was happening this weekend was, of course, the two games between West Ham and Leeds and Spurs and Everton, the relegation battle. This was coming down to Spurs, traditional member of the Big Six English football elite, and West Ham United, one of the most storied clubs in English football, both with 60,000 seat stadiums in the capital of London. And one of them had to go down. And luckily for Sean, it was not Spurs.
I think there was probably about a 10-minute real-time window, 10 to 15-minute real-time window of West Ham had scored first and Tottenham was still 0-0.
No.
That wasn't the case.
No, Spurs scored at the end of the first half, and then West Ham didn't score into the second half.
Okay.
But then they scored 3 goals ultimately. And I was only able to watch sporadically, but when I would sporadically turn it on, it was like the 87th minute, and you would think Everton would have nothing to play for. They would have been like checked out at this point, but no, they were going for it. They were like, we want to hurt Spurs here. For some reason, they had a vendetta against Spurs, and I appreciate the hate.
They said do it for Lee.
Yeah.
Do it for the Blue Mafia. As Lee's Twitter account talks about all the time.
They did not give up. It was 1-0, and it was a nervy one too. They were giving everything they got to at least equalize.
Honestly, that would have made it a tremendous finish. Had Everton scored in like the 75th minute, and it was 1-1, and West Ham were winning their match 3-0 at that point. Could you imagine a world where like all of the eyes would have been on that Spurs Everton game?
I'd have turned it off.
You would have turned it on.
I don't know if I want to witness this. Because if we gave up a goal, we were giving up the winner.
Yeah. I mean, that would be tremendously nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, as a fan, oh yeah, definitely not.
But it turned out.
So when all 10 games are playing at the same time, it's hard to watch it is extremely hard to watch all the games because you quite literally can't.
Yeah.
They're all at
Maybe next year we can.
There's no deco box where it's just all 10 screens at one time.
Maybe next year we can attempt it again at the crib. Fair Card Radio second.
Do we have
penultimate match tournament?
Do we have a combined 10 TVs with 10 accounts that can be linked up?
We got a number of screens, but also at the same time, like we don't need all 10 games. Like you need one screen that's got the goal zone, goal rush, or whatever they call it. And then you just have Arsenal on the big screen.
No,
and
never.
It's funny you say never because you did early when the get together end of the season was still kind of on the table. We talked about doing it again. You did concede that if Arsenal if there was a chance Arsenal could win the title, that you would let them have the big screen.
But you had already won the title.
You had already won it. Yeah, you guys were playing for nothing.
So therefore, still never.
I mean, that Sunderland Chelsea game would have been spicy to watch on the big screen at your house.
In this scenario,
watch that with me. I don't. My team ran away from me on that day. Home theater.
To be honest,
clear.
Chelsea didn't really have anything to play for. If it happened, it probably would have been. What did you have to play for?
Europe. They could have qualified for Europa League.
We would have been 7th.
Really?
My guy.
Yes. If they would have finished 7th on 55 points. This is a good time. Let me bring up the table for
then y'all are trash.
Yeah. So
Chelsea
had a chance to qualify for Europe.
But like we still trash.
Yeah, so
we play like so I don't know how all of our listeners are up on the Chelsea Twitter drama, but like a whole list of players comes out that wanted out and then they're still starting this game. And they played like they wanted to leave.
Who was it that played like they wanted to leave?
Enzo and Cucurella.
That's the whole
Both.
list? That's the whole list? 2 players?
There was a couple of others. There was a couple of others on the list, but those were the two that like set me off.
Well,
Fofana. Oh no. Well, hold on. Fofana for the 10th time this season doing stupid stuff. Yeah, Fofana, Enzo, and Cucurella all can go.
so Cucurella, he's been at the club for how many years now? 6, 7, a while? 5?
No.
Wasn't he there under Thomas
3?
Tuchel?
No, he came in after Tuchel.
Are you
4.
sure?
He came in with Luco. Yeah.
With who?
Thomas Tuchel had Ben Chilwell. Cucurella came in after Ben Chilwell got kicked out. With like Poch might have been when Cucurella came in. Was Poch.
Oh, with Poch. Okay, well, not with
Yeah,
Poch. He
Luco.
came in with Graham Potter probably.
Whichever one.
Yeah. Okay. He signed in 2022.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is his 4th year at the club. He wants to go to Madrid. Great. Enzo wants to go to Madrid. Great. Or City. I don't care which one. Bye. Fofana can go to Saudi. I don't care. I just never want him to kick a ball in a blue shirt again.
Well, if he does go to
Wow.
the Saudi League, he could probably get called up by his national team like Ivan Toney.
Maybe.
You say
Apparently-
that like you have beef with Ivan Toney getting picked up.
Apparently that was Harry Kane's choice, by the way.
Well, yeah, because I have no idea what goes on over there. I don't even know how to watch it. If you could,
I don't know.
Can you just
Fox,
watch the
actually.
Saudi
It's
League?
It's on FS1, I think.
That is true. I think you're right, Brad. I think it is on FS1.
I genuinely
No
think
way.
Saudi Arabian League is on FS1.
I think you're right.
I randomly found it a couple of times.
Oh, that checks out.
Doesn't it? Is this the funniest thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone though. Let's move on.
Yeah, no, we just played the Sunderland Chelsea game. We would get the ball in the first half and just kick it forward. Like to nobody. Just booting it. Like we were freaking Burnley playing City, kicking the ball out.
Brad, I'm gonna let you finish, but no one cares about Chelsea in this result because Sunderland Football Club qualified for Europe. Sunderland
That's
Football
phenomenal.
Club qualified for the Europa League. Sunderland Football Club, who 39 games ago was playing in the Championship, qualified
That has got
for
to be
Europa.
the first time, at least in the Premier League era, that a team has gotten promoted and then gone to Europe the following. Like it has to be, right?
No, I feel like it's happened before.
Well, to be fair, up until about 5 years ago, it was a lot harder to make it to Europe. There was only 5 spots instead of 7.
Let me ask Grok real quick. But it is a tremendous achievement.
It is amazing. That is great for them. And now they have to go out and buy a bunch of players or get relegated next season because they're not used to playing an extra 10, 15 games. Right? Like
Well, no,
100% go them.
they
I
play.
hope they get the squad to do it.
No, you play a minimum of 8, right? Because did they get our bonus spot? Does that put anybody?
No, all 5 are in
No.
the Champions League.
No, yeah. There's no playoff game, so Sunderland's firmly into Europa. They did not have to qualify.
Oh, 7?
They're go-
They might. I don't think so, but they might.
So, yeah. So they're firmly in. They don't have a playoff game. It's just a minimum of 8 extra. It's not 10 or 15 games.
But it's the
still
timing.
8 games.
It's
It's
the
still
timing.
a lot. Yeah.
Right, and because you're also probably going the cut of a cup run, right? Oh, my team finished in Europe. We should be able to go deep in these cups. So, like an extra 10 to 15 games is probably correct overall.
Well, they would be in those cups anyway, whether they were in Europe or whether they finished 17th.
Sure, but there's a difference between going out in round 3 in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup and going into like the quarterfinals, semifinals. A few more
I don't know,
extra matches on those legs.
It's just 8. Yeah, it's just 8 games.
Do you don't think they make it out of their group? I think you could put any English team in Europa League or Champions League, and they're making it out of the group stage, out of the league stage.
Newcastle struggled their first time up.
Well, they were in the Champions League, and that's a different.
Yeah, for their first time. I said it was their first time. They hadn't adjusted the roster.
All right. I have an answer for you. And I thought that there was a team that recently did it. It was Wolves. Wolves did it in 1819. They finished 7th and qualified for the Europa League that season. And then
that would have been Nuno, wouldn't it?
not in 1819. I don't think it was in 18. I don't think he was their coach in 1819.
Sure.
But I could be wrong. I don't think so.
That's an info.
And then you had Ipswich Town did it in 2000, 2001. Nottingham Forest did it in 94, 95. And Newcastle United did it in 93, 94. So, but apparently it's happened at least 10 times in the history of English football.
So rare and still a wonderful achievement for them.
It's happened twice in the last 26 years. 25 years, right? So yeah, quite rare. And yeah, they don't I don't say this to poo-poo what Sunderland did. I think
it was Nuno, by the way.
I think it's even more tremendous that like they did it in this day and age, right? In this Premier League season. Because I mean, like when you think about the money that all of the teams who have been in England for a while have, and Sunderland had been down for how many years? Like 4 or 5?
Quite a few.
It was a number of years that they had been
more
down.
Than that.
Oh, more than that, yeah. It's been about a decade.
Has it been that long? Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Was it like
I think so,
15, 16? Something like that? 14,
Yeah,
15?
it was somewhere around there. Because
Yeah.
when they went down, they had an American Taylor Gooch on their team, foot number 47. And I thought he was going to be a little wonder kid for America. He was like 19. And they went down to the championship and he just fizzled out.
Yeah, you're right. It was
16, 17. And who was their manager?
It's 16, 17?
He is currently managing in the Premier League.
Eddie Howe.
No, it was
we've already
Silva?
talked about his team.
Silva?
Nuno?
We haven't talked about Fulham yet. No,
Oh.
we've already talked about his team. We haven't talked about West Ham yet.
Was it
Moyes?
What do you mean his team?
David Moyes.
David Moyes.
Oh,
got
that's
him relegated.
right. That's right. David
that?
Moyes did manage after United. Or was he did United, then he went to Spain, and then he came to Sunderland before he went to West Ham.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about his stint at Sunderland.
And to bring it full circle, he had his boys playing all out on Sunday.
But not enough. Not enough.
Yeah.
How do you feel, like emotionally, about this?
Relieved, excited. We get another crack at it. For gosh sakes, we shouldn't be in the same situation again. There's no excuse. This fraud. I'm just sad that I like this club, because this fraud of a club is now investigating the pitch. Brother, you should have done that when you built the daggone thing. Like, what do you mean you're investigating the pitch to see if the retractable nature of it makes it more susceptible for injuries? This wasn't research you did when you were making it?
There probably wasn't data, right? How many teams had retractable football pitches? They'd happened.
At that time, it was just Madrid, right?
No, Madrid. I don't think the Bernabeu had even opened yet. Like it had, right? Didn't the Bernabeu open after? Yeah, but the original Bernabeu didn't have a retractable pitch.
I didn't know they made a whole new Bernabeu. I thought they just updated the stadium.
They did, but part of the updating was building that fancy retractable.
I don't know who was
real
first.
Grass.
We moved into this stadium, I think, around the pandemic. It was like around 1920.
I think it was
still your manager.
18. Yeah, it was somewhere in that zone.
It was.
Between
It was.
2018 and 2020.
I think it was. I think it was the 1920 season.
It was during.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, they had already been in the stadium, Brad, when we moved.
Yeah.
When did Tottenham do their all or nothing season on Amazon Prime? Because that was like they started off.
It was COVID.
They started off.
First year at Jose, then, right?
That was when the podcast started. Was COVID, sir?
We started after they came back, though.
Yeah.
No.
Our
Yes.
first season was empty stadiums.
Brad, we've talked about this, that we started the pod. We talked about this last week, that we started the podcast in December of 2020. The first episodes that we listed that were private were in December of 2020.
Right.
Which is after yes, it's in the middle of the empty stadium season,
Yes.
but it's after the
They're
COVID
breaking-
April
shutdown.
3rd, 2019, which would be the first season they were in their new stadium would be when we started. It was 2020.
And not only are they investigating the pitch, they're bringing in a psychologist to.
What you said is even wrong, Brad. That's objectively wrong.
I just tried to move on.
No, but what he said is objectively wrong. If they moved in, if they opened in April,
You know what's funny? I realized as I was saying it how wrong it was, and I was like, "Screw it! Let's see how long it takes James's mind to catch up to what I'm saying." Because you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, no,
That sounds wrong. What?
Because it is wrong. Because if you opened it in April of 19, the first games you played in there were August of 19. The COVID shutdown happened in March of 2020. That season finished in July of 2020, and the next season started in September of 2020. So we started recording a podcast in December of 2020, which means we were in the middle of the 2020-2021 season. You punk. It was their second season.
I'm so good. I'm so glad that you explained that to everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, anyways,
this is what I have to deal with.
They're bringing in an in-house psychologist to help shake the Spursy moniker.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I tell you, you don't have to just hire me. I can tell you exactly what to do. Joe Louis, sell the club. That's how we get rid of it. That's it's done. Whatever their salary is, I'll take half. It'll take me a day to come over there. That's it. I could just save you some money.
Or here's a crazy thought: just let De Zerbi cook for 5 years.
Yeah, or stop firing managers.
Yeah, like let somebody instill an actual culture in the club, and maybe a culture that isn't Tottenham. You know what I mean? De Zerbi's not. He's not a Tottenham guy.
You watched. You said you watched a little bit of the Spurs game.
Yeah, it was sporadic here or there.
I can tell you though, much like Ange, the players really like him some De Zerbi, and I think they just like that fiery type of manager who feels like he's in the trenches with you.
Yeah,
because they like Conte. Maybe not his style. I think there was some complaints about being overworked, but that's just how Conte is.
They're going to get that with De Zerbi as well. De Zerbi is a notoriously hard trainer as well.
Italian coaches running their players.
Well, wasn't it Igor Tudor that had the guy? Like he came in mid-season, and he's got the guys running gassers. Like that is not the time to have them running gassers.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning or end of. Like, come on, man.
But without those gassers, is your press is so good enough to keep y'all up, being able to play De Zerbi ball because of that running?
They had like 4 ACLs under Tudor. What do you tell me?
I don't know.
Maybe that was the pitch.
What do you mean?
Or the psychology.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a completely unserious club, and I shouldn't be a fan of them, but I already picked them.
I'm done talking about Tottenham. Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares? Aston Villa spoiled Pep's last game. Did you hear about this? Do you see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
As a quick aside,
his whole staff has gone too, which definitely means that some things are coming down the pipeline right now.
No, that's pretty typical. That's fairly typical.
Most of your staff leaves with that.
I don't know.
Most of them weren't there with Maresca, so like, why would they stay for Maresca? Maresca has his own team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I maybe just Ryan Mason was a unique situation because Ryan Mason was there for like 4 managers.
Yeah, well, he's the wart that they can't freeze off.
Well, he's gone now. He's managing. I don't know.
He decided to leave. He's
West
doing
Brom or something like that.
Isn't he in League One with somebody?
Yeah, he went to manage a lower.
Yeah, and good for him. He should get a shot.
That's how it should go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think that's fairly typical for, a manager to leave and all of his staff. It's exceedingly rare. We'll put it like this. It's very rare for a manager to leave and for his coaching staff to stay. You might see like a goalkeeping coach stay, or like I think in this day and age, you could see a set piece coach stay, because they might be,
separate.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. Yeah, they're specialists, right? And
Yeah, specialist role.
they don't necessarily need a manager's philosophy to function, right? It
Yep.
doesn't matter the type of football that you want to play in possession, out of possession. Goalkeeping coach, maybe. Like you can make an argument that a manager might want to have a specific goalkeeping coach because the manager is going to want their goalkeeper to be doing a specific thing. But I would imagine in this modern day and age where we have modern goalkeeping coaches, that goalkeeping coach would just be able to slot in and be like, okay, we want when we have possession, we want the goalkeeper to slide into the back line and be a third center back kind of situation, passing the ball around. But I'm not surprised by that. I think, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, speaking of managers sticking around, I had without the knowledge of the news, I had a Manchester United fan ask me if I thought that Michael Carrick would stick around, and I said, "Well, I don't know if they will, but I can tell you when they do that final interview, he's got a heck of an argument." So I don't, if they don't give it to him, he's got a heck of an argument to go to him and be like, "What do you want from me? I finished third. You were fledgling before I got there."
Manchester United had the best second half in the EPL. They accumulated the most points in the second half of the season, one more point than Arsenal did. So
and he was rewarded with a 2-year full position. He's no longer, the interim tag is removed, or the caretaker title is removed. He is the United manager now.
And I think to your point, that's probably the best thing what he brought to them was stability. Was kind of like a calmness. They're not trying to do anything extravagant. They're not trying to recreate like a derivative of what Pep tries to do. They're playing pretty standard football, which is
4-4-2. Go
4-3-3.
But yeah. Like whatever made sense for the players he had, he played that formation, and it wasn't like, oh, shift here when this happens and do. No, it was go kick a ball.
And when you have players that are as good as Manchester, because like let's be honest. Manchester United made a lot of really good signings last summer. Mbeumo, Cunha, Benjamin Sesko, like they upgraded in all of those positions, right? And so you bring in a more fit Mason Mount. Now they did have like center back injuries this season with De Ligt going out and Lisandro Martinez keep getting injured. And so. They were missing players. Casemiro's old, so like he was missing games here and there. But like the attacking signings that they made, all tremendously good.
He doesn't. That friend doesn't get to watch as frequently as he once did, and he said, "Well, what's the difference, Carrick?" And I was like, "Carrick just walked in the locker room and said, you're all very talented players. Just play football.
Yeah,
like just stop thinking. Just play football. You're extremely talented." And he was like, "Oh, he Ted Lasso'd it." And I was like, yes, he exactly Ted Lasso'd it. He just said,
with a United badge and United history behind him as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this, I think, a number of times on this podcast. When you ask players to do things that they're not inherently comfortable doing in any sport, you take a really talented player who's really good at playing whatever position they're playing, and you're asking them to do something that's slightly different than what they're already exceptionally good at, and they have to think while they're playing. That makes their job much more difficult. And in a game where, like microseconds and milliseconds matter with your reaction to things, like having to think about things hurts you. And so being able to just go out and kind of get into that flow state easier and just perform is tremendously important.
Yep. Apparently, rumor is that City are going to be hit with a substantial fine, a transfer ban, and 60-point deduction
for next season.
Yes.
So this is all conjecture, and this is all based off the 115 charges that they have pending against them that's been litigated 2 years ago.
Well, this rumor started floating about what like Chelsea's punishment, right? And like our not punishment.
This punishment started floating in like February or so is when we started hearing about this.
Yeah.
But the new rumor is that it's going to be announced this summer at some point.
Yeah, it's becoming more concrete. Like it's starting, like we heard points deduction. We didn't know how much. We figured a fine. I didn't really hear transfer ban, although that makes sense logically.
It should be an
That wouldn't be on there.
extensive, lengthy
Yeah, it
transfer
should be
ban.
like 3
I'm
some
thinking,
odd years.
yeah, like we're talking minimum 4 windows.
Yeah.
Like 6 windows makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
It should be it's okay. This is all assuming what they did was fraudulent, right? Assuming that they're
Right.
found guilty of the financial doping crimes that they've been claimed. They should have the fine. It should be the biggest fine in English football history.
Yeah, it'll dwarf the Chelsea one. It should dwarf the Chelsea one that's at the record.
How much was Chelsea's? 20?
I want to say like 10 mil.
It was 20, but suspended to 10 or something like that.
I think so. That sounds right.
Like, to me, this should be like a £50 million fine. And I'm not saying that just because I hate City, but like whatever their inflated fake sponsorship deals are, like that should be the baseline. Like if they inflated like 50 million of fake money, that should be the baseline fine. And then there should be punitive damages on top of that. And then I think, they should probably, Manchester City should probably be, liable for some damages to teams that were affected by what they did. Teams that missed out on Europe, teams that were relegated, things like I think that there's a world where there should be some civil compensation to other clubs for, what this
happened.
What this
Arsenal,
upsets
Liverpool.
I'm not even talking.
No, not Arsenal.
Arsenal wouldn't benefit any titles for this.
Arsenal would not. Liverpool, United.
Liverpool and United.
Yeah, because there was 2
not Chelsea.
seasons.
I was trying to think if Chelsea was top 2, but we never were.
It's just Liverpool and
We've
United.
talked about this before, but didn't Liverpool score like 98 and 99 points and not win
Yes.
the title?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of retroactively re-awarding.
Same here.
I don't know.
No, but I'm saying they have grounds to sue because they were. It would be directly. You would be able to point to it and say you can't say we wouldn't have won the title without their doping.
Well, and you could say like this is the damages. Like you cost us £10 million, or you look at a team that finished 5th that year and didn't qualify for Europe. Oh, didn't qualify for the Champions League. You cost us £25 million. That was the difference between what we would have made in the Champions League versus what we made in the Europa League. But I am not opposed to vacating their titles. I don't necessarily think that they should be re-awarded, but if City were able to financially inflate their numbers for a number of years, like we're talking like 6 years or something like that, that allowed them to then sign more players than they should have been, allowed them to pay players more than they should have been able to. Like they operated outside the rules, and if they succeeded while operating outside of the rules, I think that stripping them of their titles, I think, is completely legitimate. I don't think that they should be re-awarded because United didn't win those titles on the pitch. I understand you could say that like once the games were played, if City weren't there, they would have won. But I think that starts to get dicey. But what you can say is that they didn't play fairly, so they shouldn't deserve to win, in my opinion.
I think it also needs to be taken into consideration, and I know you don't want to admit this, James, but Chelsea's complicity with the FA the entire way along. They self-admitted that has to be taken into account. That Chelsea self-admitted they opened their books to the FA and made it easy. City have fought this tooth and nail, obstructed, done anything they could to not help the FA. That has to be taken into account.
I mean, I understand your argument that because Chelsea were open about this to the EPL and they showed the EPL from the jump what was going on, but I think these circumstances are completely different. I think if Roman Abramovich was the owner then, if Roman Abramovich was still the owner of Chelsea, and then he opened the books to the EPL and said, "Oh, look at all the stuff that I had been doing for 10 years. Please don't." No, we need to throw the book at you. I still think Chelsea got off lightly, just because there was a new ownership group and they were forthright. I still don't think that should alleviate punishment personally, but I understand I understand that it does. I understand from like the jurisprudence aspect of it. You want to encourage people to cooperate with investigations. And to be fair, I think it's in the bylaws of the Premier League that you have to cooperate with these investigations, which is the additional charges. There are more than 115 charges because they were subsequently charged for not helping, not being cooperative. So that's that. Yeah, I think that's the other major news story that could potentially happen over the next 3 months before the season starts back up. So, did we miss anything?
That would be the fun part. I think we nailed it, sir.
Hull beat Middlesbrough. Did we talk about that? Hull is up.
No, we did not.
So, Sean, who is that? Who does that mean that we have up in the Premier League next season? Give us the 3 teams.
We got Hull, Coventry. Welcome back, Frank Lampard. Hull, Coventry, and Ipswich.
Yes, indeed.
And speaking of Frank Lampard and Chelsea, with the Chelsea connection, Chelsea can sell Liam Delap back to Ipswich so they don't have to deal with that monster elbowing just absolute 90s football throwback thug who broke Jed Spence's jaw.
Shout out to Hull, who only got back into the promotion playoff spots on the last day when Wrexham and Derby County faltered.
Yep.
Does that make you feel bad, Sean, that it would have been Wrexham that won the overall would have won the? Because I'm just crossing out Hull and writing Wrexham and not thinking about anything other than the position that they were in. So Wrexham would have been promoted if it wasn't Hull. Yeah.
No, it doesn't make me feel bad. I don't think you can look at Wrexham's Wrexham's season and think that was a failure in their first season up to the championship. Like,
no.
That is above and beyond probably even what Rob and Ryan dreamed of when they started out this season. I think when we first talked about this, James, I said realistic goal for Wrexham should be somewhere 17 to 19. Like, that's getting out of the 20s, not in a relegation battle. Like, that's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win for Wrexham.
Yeah. Like getting to round 46 and being safe would have been a win.
Yes. And I was like, best case scenario, they have a pretty good year and they're between 13 to 15 to 16. They're in that safe a month ago. That's best case scenario. An absolute dream situation is top half. If they were like 10th, 9th, that's an absolute dream scenario.
Yeah.
And they exceeded that. They were in the playoff spots up until the last game. That is beyond what anybody could dream of.
They had a tremendous season. I was just joking about that because we wouldn't know if they got there or not. Bruno Fernandez is now the sole holder of the Premier League assist record, though. Brad, I think you need to bring up this caveat. You had that same look on your face when I said it in the intro. Tell me why.
That's an own goal, sir. You can't get assists on own goals.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you have to have a shot on target for your shot has to be on target in order
and it hit the post
and the crossbar. And if you hit the crossbar, your shot is not on target.
Right, it is not within the box. Yeah, PGMOL is still corrupt. FA is still corrupt.
So what we're talking about here is the goal that Patrick Dorgu scored. It was assisted by Burno Fernandez. It hit the crossbar and then deflected off of the goalkeeper's hand, the back of his hand, and then went into the goal. Ergo, it should have been ruled an own goal. But the goal panel, the goal accreditation panel, for some reason has upheld that it was a United goal and not an own goal, which is it's just factually incorrect. And I think everyone with eyes can tell that it's factually incorrect. And anyone who's watched football at any level for any number of years understands what the rules are, knows that it's factually incorrect. So, yeah.
I've gotten, as a final dismount, we can get fined by the FA for this one.
Okay.
I'm just getting absolutely. After this season, I am exorbitantly tired of watching factually incorrect like defenses of calls
Yeah.
of the whole year. Like it's just like they're openly corrupt and then just explain it and so, oh well, this is a gray matter. No, it's not, man. We could see. Like, no,
Yeah.
don't tell me. Well, there's this gray area and this. No, it's not.
Yeah, and
It's actually not true.
especially with something like this that is objectively black and white. Like
Yeah.
like this is 100%. You're just lying to us, and you expect us to take it. So that is what it is. All right, we need to reconcile the picks for the season. So we had one round left to talk about. We've got round 38, kind of not a great round for most of us, though. Chap did come in from downtown. He hasn't given us picks in like 10 weeks, and he just decided to rip some picks this week and just ripped a 7 spot. So big ups to you, Chap. You got 7 correct this week, and that's the top number. Joel came in second with 5. Jimmy and I tied on 4. Brad had 3. Sean had 2, which ultimately means if Jimmy and I are tied on 4, that means I, like Arsenal, are champions of the pick table this season. I don't know what to say, guys. I've been thinking about this moment for 25 minutes. What I would say in this moment. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of your lousy picks. If you guys didn't stink so badly at making picks, I wouldn't have to be here. So I'm going to take the company credit card. I'm going to buy myself something Arsenal related. And I'll say that it was a gift from the podcast to me for succeeding so well on picks this year. So yeah, overall, I had 170 correct picks out of 380. That is a percentage of 44.7%. So now I will say the winner of the pick percentage, and he would tell you that this is all that matters, is Joel. He had a correct pick percentage of 45.4%. He got 168 picks correct out of 370 games because he missed a week. So you would think that had Joel picked 10 more games, he would have had about 5 more points. So Joel, this is your moment to feel bad about yourself for not picking that one round in week 5 or something like that. All right, we can't get out of here without talking about the Champions League final though. Champions League final on Saturday.
Why are we talking preseason games? I'm just kidding. I'll let you go.
Who you got, Brad? PSG or Arsenal?
PSG. I want to lose to the champions.
Okay, PSG.
I actually legitimately do think PSG wins.
Okay, why?
They have the attack. They have the ability to score goals, more goals than Arsenal will get corner kicks.
Okay, all right, Sean. What do you thought? What are your feelings on the Champions League final?
It's gonna be PSG. I think they just overpower. I just don't think they're probably There's probably 1 or 2 clubs on earth that have enough attacking power to break down your back line, and this is probably one of them.
Who's the other one, do you think?
Bayern Munich.
I figured you would say that. Bayern Munich, interestingly enough, did break down our back line this season one time. The 17-year-old, I forget what his name is. He scored against us at the Emirates when we played Bayern Munich this season. No. It was, I forget what it's the kid who made a post about wanting to go to Real Madrid. I forget what his name is. Okay, so when you talk about PSG having the ability to break down Arsenal, I don't think you're wrong. And if PSG score, it will be difficult for Arsenal to get back in the game. But I will say that Arsenal have the one defense in Europe that is capable of stifling PSG. I say that though, and we won't have a fit right back. We'll be playing someone out of position at right back, which I think is kind of dangerous because you've got, so much attacking prowess for PSG. So I said before the semifinals took place that I thought whoever won the PSG Bayern Munich game would win the Champions League overall. I still kind of think that way, but I think it'll be a close game. I think PSG probably wins 1-0, something like that. Maybe in extra time. That's kind of my prediction. Here's to hoping that the Arsenal goalkeeper, whoever it is, whether it's Raya or Kepa, doesn't get sent off in the 25th minute or whatever it is, like happened to us in 2006. So here's to hoping it's 11 on 11 for the whole game, and we'll see what happens in Budapest. But I'm excited. So, yeah, I'll be real insufferable next week if we win, though. More so than I was last week.
We know.
But that's all we got this week. We're only doing one episode. So you let us know in our Discord who you think is going to win the Champions League. We love to chat with you. We will be doing World Cup coverage here, and I think probably next week we'll probably have to start thinking about the World Cup, because it's like 15 days away from the first game. I think we're like 2 weeks away. We're real close. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to the Champions League. While you're watching this, if you want to turn on the Conference League final, the second half should be starting right about now. So turn that on, see how Crystal Palace is doing. And hope you guys will be back next week, joining us as we break down the Champions League final and then maybe looking at the start of the World Cup. Hit us up on social media. That guy up top is at KSBradG. Down below is at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we can be reached at Redcard_Radio. Join the Discord community and chat with us there as well. And until then, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the Conference League final today. Enjoy the Champions League final on Saturday. And then we'll be back with you, next week. Until then, have a good one.